Commonwealth Hall and the John Mensah Saba Hall at the University of Ghana, resulting in injuries and damage to properties. Now, according to an eyewitness, residents of Saba Hall celebrated Saba Fest on Friday. As part of the festivities, the residents of the hall went on a procession. Somehow, one of them strayed to the Commonwealth Hall, where he was allegedly beaten up and his phone taken away. Now, the beaten Viking returned to his hall to report the incident. His colleagues then followed him to the Commonwealth Hall, and the fight ensued. Now, in the process, a vehicle parked at the Mensah Saba Hall car was set ablaze. Now, the SRC Union building signboard and newly renovated SRC notice board were, among others, destroyed. Now, Godwin has got the statement from both the university and also the Commonwealth Hall have also come out to condemn the act. Yeah.
Before I bring this out, I mean, I witnessed this twice in my 4-year stay in Legon. This has been a long-standing feud between Saba Hall and Commonwealth Hall. If you go to Tech, there's that rivalry as well. So this rivalry has been there for a while. I just haven't heard about it in a long time.
Okay, so you say what's happening is not far-fetched?
At all. I mean, it's not new for those who have been to Legon. They know this feud, but they've really kept it under, for a while. It's sad to see it come up again. Notice clashes between students of Commonwealth Hall and Mensah Saba Hall. This is coming in from the University of Ghana. Management of the university has noted with concern yet another series of clashes between students of Commonwealth and Mensah Saba Halls, which occurred late in the evening of Friday, August 5th, and in the early morning hours of Saturday, August 6th, 2022. Management condemns these needless acts of violence that have led to injuries and destruction of property and calls on students of all the two halls to immediately halt any planned continuation of these acts. Efforts to identify the perpetrators are ongoing, and those found culpable of breaking national laws or university regulations will appropriately be sanctioned. Management assures the university community of its resolve to ensure that academic work and other activities proceed without hindrance, and of its commitment to safeguarding peace and stability on all campuses of the University of Ghana. And it's signed by Emilia A.J. Mensah, Mrs. She's a registrar of the University of Ghana. So yeah, there you have it. Then Commonwealth Hall JCR has also come out with their statement. The attention of the leadership of Commonwealth Hall Junior Common Room has been drawn to some media reportage and a press release emanating from the university management dated 6th August 2022, echoing a clash between a student of Commonwealth Hall and Mensah Saba Hall. It is worth noticing that the Commonwealth Hall prides itself as a citadel of excellence and does not condone any form of violence, of which the said incidents is no exception. Commonwealth Hall JCR seeks to, by this communique, disassociate itself from the said act of violence. We would like to state unequivocally that Commonwealth Hall has not engaged in any such act of violence, and hereby condemn any attempt by any office or media house to put the hall's name into disrepute. Commonwealth Hall JCR also wishes to commend the security agencies for their swift intervention to bring the situation under control on the said day, and to also call on appropriate authorities to punish those found culpable of this lawless act. Thank you. Signed, Paul Enim Inkum, JCR President. Okay, what a confusing statement.
Have you had to write such a statement since you were...
Time? Yeah, once. I think when the university decided that they were going to decongest the rooms. We were sleeping 5, 6 in a room, and the university decided that no, it's going to be much. 4. Was it 4 or 3 in a room at a point? Yeah, and a propriety. Anyway,
but let's move on to the next story, Godwin.
Yes, media personality, CEO of Kofi TV and Director of News for the Angel Broadcasting Network, Kofi Adoma-Mawani, is currently on admission after being attacked by some unknown men around Old Ashongman. The incident is said to have occurred on Saturday. According to information gathered, Adoma was returning from Kutunse when the attackers crushed him. The men, who were on motorbikes and armed with sharp objects, left injuries on the presenter's face, arms, and shoulders. Further reports indicate that they attempted to set him ablaze after pouring some substance believed to be petrol on him. Although information remains scanty, some social media users are convinced the attack on the radio presenter was an attempted assassination, while a cross-section of Ghanaians believe it was a robbery. Meanwhile, the Ghana Journalists Association has condemned the attack on Kofi Adoma-Mawani and has called on the police to swiftly conduct investigations into the incident.
That's sad. been in the news for so many reasons quite recently. It's sad to know that this is happening to him. Oh my God. Okay, so here's something that will not make you happy, but I'm glad that you know so that you can know how to schedule your time. So the Electricity Company of Ghana has announced that it will undertake a planned maintenance in some parts of the Greater Accra region. Godwin will read out a statement and hopefully where they're going to be doing that. Yeah.
Planned maintenance, Greater Accra, Monday, 8th August 2022. The Electricity Company of Ghana will undertake planned maintenance works to improve service delivery. Date, Monday, 8th August 2022. That's today, starting at 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Areas to be affected. Please take note: Medina Zongo, Redco Flat, Medina Market, Tayman Town, Medina Firestone, Kutam Estate, and Tayman Beggars Town. ECG regrets the inconvenience that will arise out of this exercise.
Do you believe the conclusion?
That they regret? That one, dear. I plead the fifth. Now, international news: a ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants has come into effect after 3 days of violence, which left at least 43 people dead. Now, Palestinian Islamic Jihad militants said the truce will begin after talks moderated by Egyptian mediators. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid's office also confirmed the ceasefire. The latest violence is the most serious flare-up between Israel and Gaza since an 11-day conflict in May last year. The Israeli military said it began the latest attack on sites in response to threats from a militant group. 15 children had been identified among the 43 deaths recorded in the latest violence, and more than 300 people wounded.
Okay, so away onto some tech news. Samsung has finally started to roll out its One UI 5 open beta to Galaxy X22 owners in the US. Now, Germany and South Korea. The update comes only a few weeks ahead of Android 13 expected release and just a few days before Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked event. Now, the operating system is powered by the One UI 5 beta. There also have been relatively small updates that add some customization options, tweaked notifications, as well as new accessibility and security settings. That's it for Coffee Daily. But remember that in support of the End Human Trafficking campaign, we urge that you report any suspected cases by calling the toll-free number 0800 800 800 or 0800 900 900. Derrick is up next with sports.
Good morning, and it's time for sports on the AM Club. And you know that Ghana are making waves in the ongoing Commonwealth Games in Birmingham because there have been medals being clinched by Deborah Aqua as well as Paul Joseph Amwa, who have made Ghana proud in Birmingham. But outside that, still in the UK, some teams won't like to listen to or watch what is happening throughout today because they thought that they brought a new manager who can, change or turn things around, but they managed to. It's not easy. But good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Morning,
Good morning. Good to see you.
Yeah, I can see you. Chelsea won, Liverpool drew. Liverpool, they are not really, happy like Chelsea, but at least they didn't lose on the first day, isn't it?
That's like someone said, it's not the beginning that matters, it's the end. It's really the end.
It's true.
So, I always say, if you say it's not the beginning that matters, put your weak foot forward and see if you fall, you pie on your forehead, Anna. You can get a scar on your forehead, Anna. Because
I do too, that's why you sit here confidently and you say what you're saying. Okay, no problem. It's Manchester United I'm worried about, but hey, I don't know where that team is going. I really don't know. Coach Sheldon, good morning to you. Anyways.
Okay, all right, so to our very first story, Ghanaian sprinter Paul Joseph Amwa clinched bronze at the ongoing Commonwealth Games. Amwa, who raced third with a time of 20.49 seconds in the 200-meter race event on Saturday.
Decent start from Hughes. Amor gets out well and also gone well on Wuzirike.
Ice Adonis, the story of stepsisters whose rivalry turns to hatred when one sister is framed for murder. From the action-packed opening episode featuring a prison break followed by a dramatic fight at a wedding, the story twists and turns through 5 years as the wrong sister battles to win back.
Doing really well.
Yeah.
They're sort of taking our name back into the games, and it's really exciting to know. I hear we got 3 bronze, three bronze,
yeah, and
2 silver.
1 silver.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Silver, and because there's a silver because the boxer didn't compete because he a day before the bout he felt
medically unwell.
So the doctor said that he will not be, fit enough to contest for the gold medal, so he had to settle for silver.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we didn't bring any gold to home at all?
No. But that's a very nice story. So still on the Commonwealth Games, Ghanaian boxer Joseph Kumi has been forced to settle for silver after being declared medically unfit on the eve of his gold medal fight scheduled to fight with the Northern Ireland Jude Gallagher. Kumi had booked his spot in the final following a win over Indians Hussein Uddin and was in contention for a featherweight gold medal, but around 4:30 a.m. On the morning of the fight, Kumi allegedly collapsed and was rushed to the infirmary at the Games Village after complaining of feverishness. After being examined by Team Ghana doctors, the initial assessment declared he would not recover in time for the fight, which was scheduled yesterday. Meanwhile, Deborah Akwa won Ghana's first ever medal in Commonwealth Games women's long jump with bronze. Yeah, so Deborah and Kumi definitely. But I'm sure if you was to be in that gold medal fight, they would have
won.
Yeah.
I mean, it's boxing, Ghana.
Yeah, sure. So away from that, now we jump straight into the English Premier League, where there was so much drama and so much controversies in there. But the first of which, we jump straight to Old Trafford, where Brighton survived a late onslaught to secure a win at Old Trafford and condemn Erik ten Hag to a losing start as a Manchester United manager. Pascal Gross first half double stunned the home supporters who were desperate to see a team put a miserable end to last season behind them.
This could be more than shrewd for Brighton here. It's well back.
Life and love stolen from her. Be ready for the suspense, the excitement, and the emotional roller coaster. An addictive tale of hatred, rivals, manipulation, and deceit, set in the glamorous world of the cosmetics industry. Ice Adonis premieres on MX24 this July. For sponsorship and inquiries, call 0243 024 552.
Dreaming of a property for your home or workspace is one thing, but finding the property at the best locations with the most favorable condition and closing that deal is another. And that's why we are here. From Accra, Ghana, to Lagos, Nigeria, to Cape Town, South Africa, we are bringing you prime properties, affordable home solutions.
That a manager has lost in the dugout for Manchester United since Louis van Gaal also lost his very first game in 2014. It's simply not good enough for Manchester United.
It's not a good time for them. Yesterday they were all mute on Twitter.
Yeah.
They will continue to this morning.
They're just
till
quiet.
Lunch.
They were just quiet. And
if the Liverpool people are feeling some way for Manchester United, I really wonder. You woke up this morning saying you are worried about Manchester United. You have the moral right.
I think it's agenda setting, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Away from that, Erling Braut Haaland announced himself to Manchester City fans after so many, criticisms on the Carabao, not the Carabao, but on the Community Shield against Liverpool. But he announced himself brilliantly at the London Stadium, where he scored 2 goals. The 22-year-old who came from Borussia Dortmund made everybody know that he's back in town, where Manchester City continued their title defense with a 2-0 victory over West Ham United at the London Stadium.
And intriguing interviews with CEOs of various real estate companies and everything in between and on. My name is Kwesi Otten Desmond, and this is Property Take. Property Take, your gateway to Africa's real estate market. Showing this on every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on MX24.
If you're into content production for digital or TV, say hello to the MX24 Studios. We're the prime location for your music video shoots, live productions, TV shows, and more. From state-of-the-art equipment to a very skilled production team, we've got you covered. Step into our modern and spacious studio with a changeable lighting system and foolproof sound. Our touchscreen studio projection monitors come with other features, including Wi-Fi connection, screen mirroring, and a remote workspace mode. Take advantage of our high-quality cameras to shoot in
Best player in City's history to have scored 2 goals on their debut since Sergio Kun Aguero did so in 2011 when he came on as a substitute to score 2 goals against Swansea City.
Haaland, that's a good announcement.
Yeah, it is.
I think he and Nunes were the most criticized when
they
were brought into these clubs.
But they all scored.
They've proven themselves.
They hit the ground running. And
what is he?
it's
Muslim, Jewish, or Buddhist?
Well,
he hasn't said yet.
No, that's a celebration.
Yeah.
That's a celebration. Ever since he was playing for Red Bull Salzburg, he's always
meditating.
Right.
Okay. Maybe he's got something. When he does that, but that's his identity. It's a trademark celebration for him.
If it's Ghana, we'll say he has passed somewhere. Anyway.
So that's it for sport. For more sports, do log on to www.mx24/sports for all your latest sports news.
Yeah. Why should we do Liverpool story? It's okay. We drew. It's okay. The cameraman is asking me to do Liverpool story. What are we doing about it?
It's public knowledge that.
What are we doing about it? Who do anything?
Because Chelsea won. Just because Chelsea won.
I don't know.
Don't worry. When they lose or when they draw, we will see whether they will allow us to do Chelsea story.
So
or not,
you have the nerve to say just because Chelsea won. My friend, get out. Let's have entertainment and showbiz. Afrogirl, please come in.
Hi, I am the Afrogirl and welcome to MX Breaks, where I give you all the updates in the world of entertainment and lifestyle in Ghana and across the world. Hi, good morning.
Hello, Afrogirl. How are you? It was good. Good weekend.
Good. Yeah. A lot of clustering for me.
A lot of
clustering. I was clustering.
Oh.
I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
Were you thinking?
No.
What were you doing? You were sleeping.
Exactly.
Look at you.
Had to rest. Yes.
Good.
No producing content for YouTube.
No. No. But YouTube people, they vex with me, but Charlie, it's hard. It's hard.
We understand.
All right,
what's been happening?
Yes,
in showbiz?
Jumping into our first story, which is actually good news. Kidnapped Nollywood stars Cynthia Okereke and Clemson Cornell have been freed by their abductors 7 days after they were declared missing. In a video that is currently in circulation, Madam Okereke said they were denied food and water during their stay. She also indicated that she and her colleague could not even sleep out of fear. And we have the video where they both talked about their experience, so let's see it.
This is Mama Cynthia Okereke.
This is Abogiti, the chief priest of Nollywood.
God is a faithful God. I have every cause to say hallelujah in the land of the living.
I'm just out of the hospital, you know, but I thank God the doctor has seen me and everything went fine. I appreciate you all.
I don't know that I have people, I have friends, good colleagues, people that cares for me, people that can pray for me, people that can vouch for me, people that can stand on my gap. My God will bless you.
I'm a bit weak, so I'm going home shortly to go and rest. But later on, according to the direction of my chairman, my state chapter chairman, Comrade Brown, we know when to come out in greater details.
BP is high, but to God be all the glory for all of you. Your efforts, your prayers, your encouragement. Mama Cynthia is alive. I will act for you people and continue to be acting for you people. I will be able to call my door. I thought I'm going away, but I am not. God filled in my heart. For good 1 week, I was there. No water, no food. And today I say, God, to you be all the glory forever and ever in the name of Jesus Christ. God will bless all Nollywood for me. I want
to appreciate my guild. My guild, it's Outdoors Guild of Nigeria chapter is like more than our chairman is carrying a young man who is a grandfather. I want to thank the national president too. You see, when you have the righteous on the people rejoice. We've never had it so good like this before. They arranged everything for my husband. Send people to the hospital.
As an order, you put it on. It's true. Forgive everybody. Forgive everybody.
Mommy, thank you.
Be in peace with all men. That's what the Bible says. I don't know that people love me. People love me.
So I thank God.
I'm alive today is to the glory of God.
See, I when I watched the video, I was happy, but then I was sad again because you know that the people, the kidnappers, they are not old people. They are young people that are doing the kidnapping. And you see someone who is old to be your mom, your father, and then you kidnap them and you keep them there, no food, no water, 7 days. Requesting for a ransom. And the president of the Actors Guild of Nigeria in Enugu State, where they are based, he said when he was in communication with them, he told them that they had been able to raise 1.3 or 1.2 million naira, and they were laughing at them. The kidnappers were laughing at them. So all the celebrities in Nollywood, it is only 1.3 that they can get. Like you can tell that these people.
That's something to actually worry about.
Yes, and they were actually watching because they were saying that all the people that have posted them and all of that. So with everything that has happened, that's the only amount that they could raise.
Let's just state that unemployment can cause some of these things. So while we're at it, we should make sure that we solve the issue of unemployment in this country, in West Africa. And a lot of these young people will shun some of these things. Let's just put it out there.
All right, so moving on to our second story. Beauty YouTuber Jackie Aina has been criticized by people, especially Nigerians, online for her latest Forever Mood candle collection. The names in this year's fall collection were to pay homage to her Nigerian heritage, which included her naming one of the candles Sorosoke, a Yoruba phrase that translates to speak up or speak louder. This particular phrase was used during the End SARS movement in 2020, which called for an end in police brutality. The problem people had with this was the fact that during the movement, Jackie did not post or speak out publicly on the matter. She came much later after being dragged and called out on social media to share her thoughts on the matter. People are currently accusing her of promoting Nigerian culture only when it is convenient for her for profit. And she puts, so this is the candle, that's the name, Sorosuke, and that's what people have a problem with. And now she put out a statement addressing the issue, and it reads, "Hello everyone, as the brand owner of Forever Mood, I understand our decision has severely hurt members of my Nigerian community with the naming of the candle Sorosuke. We missed the mark on this and it will never happen again. Empowerment and respect is the ethos of Forever, and that was unfortunately not properly conveyed in the naming of the candle. We accept full responsibility and I recognize the gravity of this error. To that effect, this candle will be pulled from the market and production immediately. I apologize for the hurt this has caused and I thank you for holding us accountable. Jackiena and Forever Mood team." Yeah, so, I mean, somebody came in her comments, so, I mean, when she posted it, they came in the comments attacking her, and, I mean, obviously, some of her larger audience didn't know why, like, oh, it says speak louder, or what the word means. So, somebody came to post a comment about it, and it says, "Nigerians are pissed because it looks more like clout from Jackie's part. She never spoke up nor used her platform to enlighten folks during the End SARS movement and subsequent massacre. In fact, she was called out for it and she literally deleted comments and blocked people. You don't choose to be Nigerian only when it is convenient for your brand and your business. So you see why she can act all clueless this time around. This was all another publicity stunt, as no publicity is bad publicity. As people would say." And she came to clear the air, saying it's Jackie, I mean the spelling. And also, "I'm still not sure why many of you are saying I never spoke up or supported the End SARS movement. This isn't true. A simple search can prove this. I also amplified a lot of verifiable information about what was going on, resources to donate, and people who were physically in Nigeria keeping us updated around the clock as things were going on. I also made personal donations to someone in Nigeria and organizations in support of. Stop saying I said and did nothing if you won't check first. Stop saying I blocked and deleted people who asked for support. It is false."
Quickly, let me say something. So, for instance, this Dumso Must End, was it Dumso Must End?
Mm-hmm.
That campaign, Sarkodie and Ivan Nelson champion. So let's say, for instance, someone like Stoneboy, or I want somebody who sells products, like a beauty product, whatever it is. So someone who owns a product, let's say a celebrity owns a product, and they didn't say anything about this Dumso Must End. And let's say during Dumso Must End, one of the things we used to say was Sorosuke. Okay, so the person comes out with the product and puts Sorosuke on it, so we have to drag the person because they didn't speak about Dumso Must End.
No,
so
it's more of, so End SARS was a global thing. Even
wasn't a global thing.
No, it was.
I mean,
it
went
became,
wide, but
yes,
it
it
wasn't a
went,
thing.
no,
Not
but
everybody
it went,
was for it.
but it went global. Even Rihanna, Beyonce, all the big stars posted about it. But you who identify as Nigerian, you who are Nigerian, you who push the brand as a Nigerian, you never posted anything about it.
She doesn't have to.
Yes, I get that. I get that. And so much later, when people like kept talking and talking about it, before she came to post like some 1 or 2 tweets that, oh, this is what's happening.
She has the right
to
stop post whenever she wants to post.
Fine, fair enough. But the fact that this, especially, so people were even asking, say, the candle, what is it supposed to smell like? Because at the end of the day, Sorosuke she used it with reference to what happened. That's why she used it.
Did she say that?
No, because
it's on the product.
No,
but did she say that it has to do with NSAS?
I mean, she would have had a case if she didn't come to withdraw it. Now that she has come to withdraw the production and the sale of that branded
candle, she knows why she did it.
Then it means that she's gone beyond the text of it. We're having to go beyond it. But if she didn't talk about it, well, Sorosuke, first of all, is it a term that existed before the End SARS?
It is a term, but it is something that nobody really used to say. It's there.
It's a saying that exists.
Yeah, it's a
If it
saying.
was,
It's there.
If
But
it's a
nobody
saying
really...
that exists, if it's a
Yes.
saying that exists, then I mean, legal backgrounds, she can fight her way through and get it without having to even put that statement. But if it didn't exist and people, the fighters of it, had to come together to coin that term, then these are trademark issues. You know, patents rights and all. But
I don't think it's from that angle. It's not from the trademark.
I genuinely don't think she should have let whatever was said affect her product and all that. She should have just moved on. Anyways.
Okay, so moving on, boxing legend Mike Tyson is labeling Hulu as the streaming version of the Slave Master after allegedly stealing his life story for profit without compensating him. In a series of statements posted on his social media accounts on Saturday, Tyson reiterated that he doesn't support Hulu's upcoming limited series chronicling his life inside and outside the ring. This is not the first time Tyson has spoken out against Mike, which is the title of the series. After Hulu ordered the limited series in February 2021, Tyson punched back against the project. In March 2021, Tyson announced his own authorized story was in the works, starring Jamie Foxx as himself. And we have the statement which he put out, so let's see it. He says, "Don't let Hulu fool you. I don't support their story about my life. It's not 1822, it's 2022. They stole my life story and didn't pay me. To Hulu executives, I'm just a nigger. They can sell on the auction block."
Said it.
He spoke about
this.
He
spoke about, this white. Let's not go into it, but Madam Lawyer, but that's not supposed to be the case. You can't take somebody's life story and
how
and it's
how
called
does that
Mike.
even happen?
And it's called Mike too. How?
Yes.
So it's like how people are accusing the Woman King story to be a Yas Santos story. They come out to say that it's not Yas Santos story. I mean, it was a real story in West Africa, but it's not necessarily. But it's similar to Yas Santos story. So it's almost like who is doing this project, and Mike thinks this is my life story, and you're calling it Mike. It's not. You can fight it, right?
Well, yeah. You know what? I'm
it's
a
like,
lawyer. I'm not a
it's like someone shoots a movie and says Nelson, names it Nelson. And Azuma thinks that it's really about his life.
Yeah.
He has the right to.
Has he told his life story somewhere before?
That's what he's saying.
We have evidence of it before. You see, because they can tell a story that nearly looks like it's you, because this is the world. Everything has happened before, So has he said his life?
No, but he's saying that he's authorized his own story, like as of March 2021, and Jamie Foxx is starring as himself.
That's fine then. What did Kim Kardashian do again? Let's go to the next story.
So this one, I know that Godwin will be very happy with it. According to sources, Kim Kardashian and comedian Pete Davidson have ended their relationship. They allegedly broke up last week due to distance and their schedules. The pair, who became Instagram official in March, made their red carpet debut in May, have been romantically linked since October 2021. And so that's about it.
Okay.
With Kim.
30 seconds for me. Pete. Look, I'm not the type who comments on people's relationships. I think people should have their relationship and it should be private. But when this story came up, we knew that it was a joke. I knew it was. We the Kanye fans knew it was a joke. We knew Pete was not going to take Kim anywhere. Kim was just, how Kim met Pete when she went on SNL and she said she's been fantasizing about him, and it was all about quote unquote sex because he said she wanted to sleep with him and all that. So it didn't look like it was going to be a serious relationship. It looks like a woman who was fantasizing about a guy. She got the guy. She's done. Yeah. She's moving on. Kanye.
They said that. So do you know what people were saying?
What?
That if you go black, you don't go back.
You can't go back, man. Okay, sorry.
God, please calm down for us. It's a Monday morning. Relax.
No, I'm super excited for Kanye West. Okay, wow, that didn't come out well.
You're excited about
no comments,
relationship ending.
No, I'm happy for Kanye West because he's been in tears for a long time. The guy will probably get some relief this morning and say, well.
Anyway, so that's about it with MX Breaks with me, The Afrogirl. Don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms at @the_Afrogirl. And of course, MX Live is on today at 3 p.m. with Jason Ellie. Godefa. Please.
We want a new hashtag.
We don't like the butterfly.
That one sounds like coming from
then
Vakpo.
no, come up with your own so that then everybody takes.
It's coming from Vakpo.
So Emefa.
Oh,
that sounds cool.
Do you know my name is Semenyo?
See?
I baby fire Charlie. Anyways, I hope we have a Kanye West song because I'm partying today.
Hey.
Meanwhile,
somebody says here, what at all does Kim Kardashian want in this her life? Kim Kardashian wants to be Kim Kardashian. Please leave her alone.
Well, let me read it. What
Guys,
the person
that's
said.
it for Coffee Daily. But summer gets better with Silverbird Cinema. Get to see all the best Hollywood blockbusters, Nollywood, and quality Ghanaian movies on the big screen at Silverbird Cinemas, now Crab Mall and West Hills Mall. Complement your movie experience with the best popcorn and products from our concessions. Now, movies such as Elvis, Thor, The Minions, Puss in Boots, and many more exciting movies come alive this season. Spend quality family time this season at Silverbird Cinemas. There's a movie for everyone. There is a movie for everyone. Which one are you hoping to see this weekend?
You should go and see it.
Okay,
I've seen Thor.
I've seen Thor too. Okay, so please log on to www.silverbirdcinemas.com/West and www.silverbirdcinemas.com/Accra for all details. Silverbird Cinemas, so much entertainment. Guys, we're ready for Lifestyle Daily. So if you're a business owner, a small business owner, here's something you need. You should take a pen and a paper where you're talking about how you can market that product or service of yours to stay.
Real estate. Buying and owning real estate is an investment strategy that can be both satisfying and lucrative. Unlike stock and bonds investors, prospective real estate owners can use leverage to buy a property by paying a portion of the total cost upfront, then paying off the balance plus interest over time. Some ways to invest in real estate includes renting out properties. This provides regular income and properties can appreciate. However, you should have the patience to manage your tenants. This method of real estate investment requires substantial capital to finance upfront maintenance costs and to cover vacant months. The second way to invest in real estate is through real estate investment groups. This is ideal for people who want to own real estate without the hassles of running it. In a typical real estate investment group, a company buys or builds a set of apartment blocks or condos, then allows investors to purchase them through the company, thereby joining the group.
Meet the best of in-depth analysis, top personality interviews, trending and breaking news all come your way. I'll be serving you with football conversations, life-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations, all on Off the Cuff. Join me, Derrick this and every Monday to Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. only on MX24 TV.
And a variety of the best lighting equipment guaranteed to put life into your sets. Locate us on the first floor of the Silicon House building off the Boundary Road, East Legon. Give us a call on 024-235-5956 or 054-454-8612. You can also email us at info@mx24gh.com.
Adonis, the story of stepsisters whose rivalry turns to hatred when one sister is framed for murder. From the action-packed opening episode featuring a prison break, followed by a dramatic fight at a wedding, the story twists and turns through 5 years as the wrong sister battles to win back the life and love stolen from her. Be ready for the suspense, the excitement, and the emotional roller coaster. An addictive tale of hatred, rivals, manipulation, and deceit, set in the glamorous world of the cosmetics industry. Ice Adonis premieres on MX24 this July. For sponsorship and inquiries, call 0243 024 552.
Dreaming of a property for your home or workspace is one thing, but finding the property at the best locations with the most favorable condition and closing that deal is another. And that's why we are here. From Accra, Ghana, to Lagos, Nigeria, to Cape Town, South Africa, we are bringing you prime properties, affordable home solutions, and intriguing interviews with CEOs of various real estate companies and everything in between and on. My name is Kwesi Otten Desmond, and this is Property Take. Property Take, your gateway to Africa's real estate market. Showing this on every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on MX24.
If you're into content production for digital or TV, say hello to the MX24 Studios. We're the prime location for your music video shoots, live productions, TV shows, and more. From state-of-the-art equipment to a very skilled production team, we've got you covered. Step into our modern and spacious studio with a changeable lighting system and foolproof sound. Our touchscreen studio projection monitors come with other features, including Wi-Fi connection, screen mirroring, and a remote workspace mode. Take advantage of our high-quality cameras to shoot in 4K and a variety of the best lighting equipment guaranteed to put life into your sets. Locate us on the first floor of the Silicon House building off the Boundary Road, East Legon. Give us a call on 024-235-5956 or 054-454-8612. You can also email us at info@mx24gh.com.
Beautiful song there. Mr. GUC will always take you into the spirit. Guys, welcome back to the AM Club on MX24 TV, home of fan feelers and factual stuff. My name is Godwin. I'm here with Emefa Adeti, Miss Emefa Kosi Adeti. And we're having so much fun now. It's time for Lifestyle Daily. And like we said, we're discussing marketing for SMEs. But first off, what is your level in the French language? Do you speak French? If you don't, let me remind you that your ability to communicate in French gives you an upper hand in your career development, your travel experience, and your education as well. So please come to Alliance Française, and this is why you should, because we have experienced and professional teachers. We have flexible time schedules. We have in-person, online, hybrid classes. We also have French for teenagers and children aged 3 years and above. So register now. The number to call is very simple, 050-128-7814, 050-128-7814, or WhatsApp us on 050-128-7818. Visit www.afacra.org for more details.
Okay, guys, time now for Lifestyle Daily. But, I mean, today, as we are talking about marketing for SMEs, here's something you should know. Now, earning new customers is vital to the growth of many small businesses, and leveraging marketing strategies is the most effective way to accomplish that goal. However, small business owners often have to wear multiple hats to keep their businesses running, and with all the marketing options out there, it can be difficult for small businesses to know exactly what to do or how to break the mold. Now, this conversation will guide small businesses and break down how to create a sustainable, scalable marketing strategy suitable for your small business so you can get to earn new customers. Good morning. And guess who is in the studio? My goodness. One woman that nearly every young woman, and I dare say that men, would even look up to when it comes to marketing and good writing skills, and a great manager. So I've experienced her on different, levels. Yes, and it's a pleasure to have Petra Abba Asama here inside the studio. So she is a marketing practitioner and also an author. Maybe at the end of the conversation, we'll recommend some of the books for you so that if we don't get to exhaust all that we're talking about, you can grab a copy and get to know. But even before we scale into this marketing conversation, I've always looked in the mirror and asked, what exactly is small-scale business? Is it the capital you use to start, or the number of customers you have, or where you are located?
Thank you, Emefa, and it's so good to be here, to be in the presence of both of you. When you talk about small, medium enterprises, I think the nomenclature is really in relation to comparing between large and small. Okay. So one, capital, definitely, but reach and customer base, that's another thing. And then in different locations or different jurisdictions, there are different definitions. So typically, you're thinking about the size of the operation. That's one thing. The customer base, that's another thing. But in terms of reach to markets, so if a company is able to reach international markets outside of their locality, they may not necessarily be a large organization. They could also be a small-scale enterprise, but they will not be considered an SME. So it really depends on the jurisdiction, how the definitions are set. So in Ghana, for instance, we may want to consider what I think there's a National Board of Small-Scale Industries wants to look at. Okay. So capitalization will be one of the things, maybe the number of staff they have, their access to markets. Their annual turnover is also a very important thing. Okay. So you won't call a business that gets a turnover of $1 million cedis or $1 million a small-scale business, even if they have just 5 or 10 staff. So their annual turnover is one of the things.
Okay, I'll ask a very, not silly, but question. You always hear sales going together with marketing. So I'd like to ask you as a professional, today help me understand the difference between sales and marketing.
Marketing is the broader scope. Okay. So marketing is the broader field of knowledge. I liken it to it being the mother, and sales is the beautiful daughter. Nice. Like okay, so sales is a subset of marketing. Unfortunately, to a very interesting extent, businesses tend to confuse the two. And so they pick people and want them to sell, but they call them marketers. Or they expect that salespeople are engaged in core marketing activities. So there seems to be a bit of a confusion there. But it's key that we understand what marketing is and then where sales comes in as well. Because generally, marketing is everything that businesses do to anticipate, to identify, and satisfy customer requirements. And customer requirements can be anything from needs, wants, expectations, things like that. But it's all of the things that you would do to, one, think about what do customers want, how am I going to satisfy those wants, those needs, and how am I going to do it very critically at a profit? Because if you're just doing it because you like it and it's not making you any money, that's really not effective. So that's what marketing is.
It's interesting what you just said. Would it be safe to say, therefore, that maybe marketing comes in before your original ideas?
Absolutely.
Because you think, what do customers want?
Yes.
That's what you're going to go into.
Yes.
Oh. So then your marketing starts from there.
Your marketing starts from the beginning of the business, and that's where, unfortunately, some SMEs miss it. So they're thinking of marketing as an afterthought. They're thinking of it after they've already decided about everything else. But marketing is a business philosophy. So when you sit down and think, I want to start a business, the first thing to consider is, where is the gap in the markets? That's a marketing decision. So what is there that customers need but don't have? It could be that other companies are providing a solution, but they've not provided a particular type of solution. That's a marketing decision. So that decision is the beginning of the marketing process.
Okay.
And unfortunately, for some businesses, they decide, okay, it feels good, it looks good, I know my family and friends might like it, so yes, I'm going into it. And then somewhere down the line, nobody's buying, or you start to struggle and you start to wonder, maybe my friends are not just being supportive.
Okay.
But it could actually be that you haven't clearly identified the need, and then you haven't identified a gap. So there are two key things. One, do customers actually need what you want to offer? Is there a requirement that they haven't been able to meet? And then how do you do this, or how do you provide this solution better than the existing providers? That's another very key thing.
Okay.
So those are marketing decisions that companies have to consider.
Okay, so if I am talented, I've got the money to start a business, I'm also skilled. These are three different people. Somebody's got the money, they're not talented. Somebody's talented, they don't have the money. But if I have what it takes to start a business, why do I concern myself with marketing it again?
Okay, because marketing is the, why do you want to start a business? That's the first thing. And the why is what would bring about the marketing decision. So the why is, one, I'm sure you want to make money, but start from what problem do I want to solve? And that's a key strategic marketing decision. Because if you don't decide on that very at the beginning, you can say, and maybe I can use you, Emefa, as an example. You can say, oh, I'm very good at speaking, I'm very good at presenting, so I'm going to make this into a business. You need to be able to identify how that talent that you have is going to solve a problem for a group of people you've identified, and how you're going to make money out of it.
Okay.
So sometimes the elements are missing. The elements of maybe one, they're not clear about who the target market is. And the target market is those group of people who are willing to pay for what you're offering. Okay, so SMEs will possibly say, my customer is everybody. Your customer can't be everybody. Your customer is a specific group of people that exist in the marketplace that have a need that you can solve and are willing to pay the price that you're offering it for. Okay, so that's your key segment.
Okay. now that we know what we want to sell, or the service we want to provide, or the problem we want to solve,
yes,
which I think is most gurus in marketing like to say, what's the problem you're solving?
Yes.
Which I hear Petra sounding very loudly here. So we know what we want to sell. How do we start? If I have my pen and my paper, how do I start the strategy?
Okay, so let's go a step back to deciding what to sell, or deciding what to offer.
Okay.
The first thing is businesses need to do what we call a situational analysis. So it's a strategic process, and it should involve some amount of research. And I know you're saying, okay, so a small business may not have money to commission a large research, but research doesn't only have to be on a large scale. It could be you putting together a group of your family and your friends and asking them in a particular area, what are some of the things that you need? For instance, if you want to write a book, what do you want to write about? Who will be willing to read that book? Put together a group of people who you think initially may be the ones that you want to provide the solution for. So you put them together and you ask them basic questions. What's the problem? What problem do you have? How do you think it can be solved? What are the options that you consider? And in the current era of technology, you can create a Google form, ask the basic questions, share it on WhatsApp platform so people can answer questions. How they want it, when they want it, what's most convenient for them. So you go about a very simple research. That's one of the things. The next thing is you need to be able to identify what are the gaps in the markets. Okay, so determine in your environment what are the solutions, what are the problems. And a good way to do that is to go about it by looking at the macro environment, so the larger external environment. So you look at things in relation to the political arena. What's going on in the political world? What's going on in the social environment?
Really?
Yes.
For my small business?
Yes, yes. What's going on in the economy? So you note, and this is you just noting down what exists. What's going on in the natural environment? What's going on in the legal environment? So for instance, for a person trying to start a business in 2022 Ghana, an issue for the social environment would be, we're just recovering from COVID. Okay, what is there about an environment recovering from COVID that presents an opportunity for me? And those are the questions you're asking. What is there in the technological environment that presents an opportunity for me? What is there in the political environment that presents an opportunity for me? But not just an opportunity, what also creates a threat? So what is there likely to happen in the political arena that may be a limitation to a business or to my business? So you do all of that. Once you're done with that, the external environment, you look within. Within yourself, within your business, or within your the framework you're trying to set up. What are my strengths? What am I good at? You really need to determine what you're good at. What am I not so good at? So what are my weaknesses? Maybe finance might be a weakness. You don't have too much capital. But your strength could be that you have a good idea. You feel that and you're very entrepreneurial. When you start things, you run with them and you do very well with things. That's a strength. What are my opportunities? An opportunity could be your network. You know people. People know you and they like you. That's an opportunity. And then very critically, what are my threats? What are the things that can actually make my business fail? And sadly, we tend not to think about that because we don't want to be negative. But it's important to think about the threats so that you can ensure that you use your strengths to mitigate your threats, and then you think about how you're going to take advantage of your opportunities. And that's one of the key things. Now, in the micro level analysis, where you think about your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you also think about customers. So, who are the customers that exist in this space? What are the types of groups? Once you're done with that, then you need to set an objective. What do I want to achieve with this business? What do I want to achieve with this solution I'm trying to provide? And set clear, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound objectives. Smart. Because you can't say, for instance, in the first year, I want to be the biggest provider of, I don't know, plants in Ghana in a year. That's a very good, ambitious, and if I was a motivational speaker, I'll say, yes, it's very good to do that. But is it realistic within a year? You need to set realistic targets. And so the business does it. And for marketing also, you need to set realistic targets. So a marketing objective could be brand awareness. How much awareness do I want to create for my business in this first year or this second year, this third year? And then we go to the key marketing strategic decisions, which I'll talk about.
Okay. So you started with the pestle, you came to the SWOT.
Yes.
I mean, and this is the time that the third point I'm remembering now is you setting your marketing objectives. And this is different from your business objectives.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So marketing in this sense is a function of the business. So the business objectives would be, one, you have to be clear on what your mission is. You want to be clear on what your vision is and what the business objectives are.
Okay.
And then you come to the functional areas. So the functional areas would be marketing, it would be HR, it would be finance, it would be all the other things that run in the business. But marketing is one of the most important.
Just so integral. Okay, but I would have thought that for SWOT, it would mean that you have started the business and then you're, say, maybe the middle of it and you want to now do an assessment. Maybe that's why you do your strengths, weaknesses, you know, the O stands for, is it opportunities or something? And
you can do, so you can always, when it comes to analysis, it's continuous. Okay. You can do it at any time. But it's important that you do it before you plan so that you know what you have. So your analysis will give you a sense of what bucket of tools do I have? What bucket of opportunities do I have? What can I work with?
Okay.
So if you're thinking about what I want to do for marketing for my business in the last quarter of this year, and you're an existing business, you would ask yourself, what bucket of tools do I have? Okay. Do I have funds? Am I currently struggling with cash flow? Am I currently struggling with human resource? Do I have a very high attrition rate where people are walking in and out of my business very quickly? Those would be weaknesses. Okay. Strengths. Do I have a very committed professional workforce that are well trained and committed to this business? That's a strength. So it could either be at the beginning of the planning process, which is the best, or while you're already in the business. And for our SMEs who haven't done it at all, there's no better time to do it than immediately.
Okay.
It's like a whole lecture.
Yeah.
I do need a notepad to take everything here. It's a lot. But let's go back to the SWOT, like she said. And I'm just thinking that if I had started my business already, you've had a chance. You're a practitioner, so you've had a chance to meet small businesses, interacted with people. What are some of the behaviors, attitudes, actions that threaten small businesses in this country?
I'll say the first thing is not being clear about what solution they're trying to provide. That for me is one of the key things. So you meet them, and I've been a mentor in different business programs. You meet the SME entrepreneur and you ask them, what exactly is your solution? And instead of going back to connecting the solution with something, a natural state of deprivation, and so that's a natural need, they're rather looking at the superficial things. So I sell clothes. Selling clothes is one step above. What you're actually doing, and if you want to define it properly, is one, you could say that you're selling quality appearance, you're selling value, you're presenting warmth and energy to customers. If I want to sell a dress to Emefa, I wouldn't say, I just want to sell you a dress. I would say, I want to sell you something that's going to make you feel good, look good, and present yourself very powerfully. And that's connecting to something beyond just what's on the surface. Inbuilt in every human being is the feeling to want to feel important. And that's one of the things that I feel that SMEs or entrepreneurs may miss. They're not connecting actually with what's the real solution. So the reason why we have phones and we have all our communication gadgets is not because we just like phones. It's because every human being naturally has the desire to stay connected with other human beings. Very few people.
Sorry to cut in. These terms you just used, these deep, profound description you gave to the business, is it something you're telling people in market? Is this something you're selling to the person? You're telling them that this is what I'm providing you, or something you tell yourself? Because I feel like I'm selling clothes. You know, what is I'm selling warmth and beauty and elegance? Is this for me, or is for whoever is at the other end of?
It's for you, the entrepreneur. It's for your team, but it's also for you to communicate consistently to your customers.
Okay.
That's what sets you apart. Because so many people are selling clothes. It's how you present what you're offering that makes a difference. And that's the second thing. So apart from not clarifying clearly what they're selling, there's also not clarifying clearly what sets them apart. So there are two things, the brand and then the unique selling position. So you need to be clear on what makes me different from everybody else who is selling clothes. And it could be different things. It could be how you interact with the service quality, that's one of the things. It could be the product's quality. It could be your interpersonal relations. So that's why, for instance, you may walk into a restaurant and the owner steps to you and says, how are you? How is the food? That's extra value. You don't regularly meet the owner of a restaurant. So when the person walks away and you notice, and they say to you, oh, hello, I'm Godwin, I'm the owner of this restaurant. I just wanted to find out how your meal was. There's an extra feeling of, I'm very important.
And now I understand why I'm always going to have breakfast at that place. The owner is always coming to us.
So, and those are all marketing activities. Sometimes the SME entrepreneurs don't realize that what they're doing is marketing. And so they're thinking that marketing is difficult and I need to do so many other things. But all of these things are marketing decisions and activities.
Okay, so you know what? We'll go for a break. When we come back, I want to know whether or not these strategies would work for a service provider or products, marketers will say tangible and intangibles. Okay, so we'll go for a quick break. Do stay.
Kumasi, are you ready? The Power of You, in partnership with Maven Records and Independence Hall, present the Garden City's biggest festival, a festival of live music, arts, and entrepreneurship. Welcome to the Power of You Festival Maven Experience. Join the Entrepreneurship Summit on Friday, the 19th of August, and the musical concert on Saturday, 20th August 2022, from 5 p.m. till we shut it down. The after party is at the Void Nightclub inside SG Energy Mall. Come, let's wait to performances from the super talented Crayon, the Love Don't Cost a Dime hitmaker Magic, and Nigeria's hottest rapper Ladipo. Strap up and get your tickets at 50 Ghana Cities for the Youth Pass, 200 Ghana City for the Trailblazer, and 400 Ghana Cities for the Golden Circle. Purchase tickets at powerofyoufest.com. This event is powered by Elevate Network with official media partners MX24 TV.
I see the glory of God.
Prepare for a Holy Ghost encounter as Ohima Mercy Ministries and Outreach in partnership with Soul Brother Records and ICGC Calvary Temple present Tabiata Healer Experience 2022. Theme Clouds of Glory, the very best of Ohima Mercy and Friends at the 9th edition of the Healer Experience. Featuring Benjamin Dube from South Africa, Lebo Segobela, South Africa, Emoji, Pastor Isaiah, Kofi Pepra, F.A. Grace, Joe Metal, Akase Brimpong, CC Chu, Rama Enchi, SK Frimpong, Mr. M Revelation Nigeria, with ministration from Ohima Mercy. Sunday, 14th August at ICGC, Calvary Temple, Sakumono Spentex from 4 p.m. sharp. Proudly brought to you by Tabia, sponsors, media partners. Admission is free. Tabiata Healer Experience. Come experience praise and glory of our Lord. Clouds of Glory.
Hi guys, welcome back to the AM class. Thank you so much for sticking and staying with us. We're like going through a long lecture that you and I will need. This is free consultation. Like if you were to Petra for a session, I'm sure it's not less than $400 and $500. So this one is for free, an hour. Yeah, an hour. Yeah. So this is for free we're milking here.
You know.
Before we went to the break, we wanted to find out what would work for the tangibles and intangibles. If you're a service provider, and then I've seen that Godwin is selling watch. These are something you can touch and feel that is working. He's working out something. What can I do? How can I differentiate the marketing strategies that will work for me?
First of all, differentiate who your customers are.
Okay.
So what customer segments do you want to focus on? So you could have different groups. And when we say segments, essentially we mean groups of customers within the marketplace. So the marketplace will be where the buyers and the sellers meet. So if we want to say segments, you could possibly use an example and say young people between the ages of 19 and 25 are one segment for wristwatches. Another segment would be 25 to maybe 35. And we're not just looking at age, we also want to look at behavior. We want to look at lifestyle. We want to look at their access to funds. And based on these different descriptions of customers, you decide who your ideal customer is. Now, I use the word ideal because it may not necessarily mean that you're not serving anybody else. It just means that that's your target group. That's the core group that you want to focus on. Once you clarify that, then you need to determine how you're going to reach out to them. So what are the strategies that will be effective for me to communicate my value and get value from them? And you asked a very important question. If I'm selling a service and not a product, can I just pick what Godwin, who is selling wristwatches, is doing and run with it? Yes and no. Yes, because marketing principles apply across.
Okay.
But no, because there are specific things that you need to do for a service that you may not need to do for a product. Let me explain. While selling a product, you still need to be very clear on who the customer is, what the price is, how I'm going to package it, all of that. But with services, you need to even be more intentional about your service delivery. Because when you're selling a service, one of the key things is, one, because it's intangible, customers associate your product value and the interaction they have with you with the person delivering the service. So if it's Emefa who is delivering a service, I'm going to be interacting with Emefa as almost as if she's the product as well as the company. So even if you're offering me something at a good price, I really need it, but I can't vibe with Emefa, that can be a hindrance. And this is where SMEs have a challenge. So they're disconnected sometimes from customer touch points in the business because they just assume that the customer wants it, they will come. If they don't want it, they will not come here. But a customer can walk away just because of an interaction they had with you they didn't like.
Interesting. Is all of this not expensive? I'm a small business, and here's Petra giving me long lectures, and I'm just calculating. I'm doing the math. And how can I afford this? Can I still market if I don't have
So
money?
the first thing for an SME is think of marketing as your business philosophy.
Okay.
Think of the customer as the most important thing to your business. So if you think about the customer as the most important, you start the business or you start getting the product or the solution from what problem am I trying to solve? The second thing you can do is clarify what you want to achieve. So one, be clear on the segment you want to satisfy, which segment of the market you want to target, and then how do you want to be known? So in technical terms, we say what's your positioning. When customers remember you or think about you, what feeling do you want to give them? That's your positioning. When we open a bottle of Coke, we expect that when we drink it, there's a certain feeling we'll have in our stomach, you know. If you open a bottle of Coke and you don't have that grrr feeling, you feel like, what happened here?
Yeah.
That's positioning. That's the feeling. So the purchase decisions are very emotive. People make decisions based on how they feel. And SMEs must decide at the beginning, and if they haven't already, start thinking about it. What feeling do I want to leave my customers with? When they walk away from me, every time they interact with me, every time there's a customer touch point, what type of feeling do I want them to have? Do I want them to think, this is a good investment, time well spent? You go into the restaurant and you meet the CEO, very warm. What type of feeling? That's positioning. And those decisions need to be made. And these are not money decisions. Then we come to the actual areas where you have to invest money most times. And that's where we talk about the P's. So the marketing activities or the tactics that you have to do every day, which you have to think of also as strategic, but what are the things that you want to do consistently? So one, clarify what the product is, how's the packaging going to be done, clarify what your pricing is. You don't need money for that. So pricing, very key. Think about what type of pricing strategy you want to employ. To some extent, sometimes SMEs think, my competitors are pricing at 2 cedis. I need to beat them to it, so I'll price at 1 cedi 50 pesos. But you may want to consider what your cost is, and then you put a margin on it. So there are different types of pricing. You could also have a pricing where we say it's penetrative pricing, where because you want to enter the market, you drop the price slightly than what's existing so customers can come on board. You can do price scheming as well, where you decide that you want to a high price to get a type of customer base, and then later you adjust the price. So pricing is a strategy. And then you have to think about also how a customer is going to actually get to me. So you don't set up a very good, you don't have a good business, but nobody can reach you.
Place,
place. So that's key. And one of the things that works now is getting into partnerships to extend the reach of your product. You're a small business, you don't have access to large supermarkets, but you're selling shito. Can you use your friends who, maybe your friend has a shop, your friend has a salon. You can put your shito in his shop. Does your friend have maybe a bookshop? Can you go to different ways of doing things just to reach more customers? So you need to find innovative ways. And then where a lot of times we think about the money is where it comes to the communication side, the promotional side of things. So the P, promotion, in the marketing mix is where we think that, okay, now I need to invest.
You need some budget.
But yes, it's important. But you can find innovative ways of doing it. One of the very, very effective ways of communicating your product or your service or your brand, word of mouth.
Right.
And word of mouth doesn't cost you anything.
Sure.
Except you're paying an influencer like Emefa or Godwin. But word of mouth is just your customers saying, I tried it, I liked it, I recommend it, it's good.
Wow.
Okay, and you can intentionally solicit word of mouth advertising from customers. I used a service, I liked it, and I called Godwin and said, oh, Godwin, thank you very much, I liked your service. Oh, thank you, Petra. Do you mind telling your friends? Do you mind telling other people? And if Petra is very private and says, oh, no, I don't want to, you can give Petra an incentive.
Okay.
You can say, if you tell your friends, I'll give you 2% on your next purchase.
Nice.
Simple.
That's
if you tell your friends and that's what the things we see where and word of mouth is so powerful because it's regular people advertising for you. if I post about Emefa's business, most of the time, or to a large extent, my friends will know, no, Petra hasn't been paid. It's because Petra appreciates this, she's used it, and she knows that it's good. That's one thing. And so word of mouth doesn't cost you anything. It's one of the most effective. The other thing is making your customers your advocates. Every time you have a customer touch point, remember that this customer can become an ambassador for my business.
Yeah.
They can go out and tell their family and their friends. So you take customer testimonials. If you have a website, you can ask customers to post what they think about the business, to post a review. All of that is advertising. Because increasingly now, people are going onto these customer review sites to find information on products and services. So even before they book a hotel, they'll Google it and check out what are people saying
about it. Yeah.
What are the negative comments? What are the positive comments? And that's one of the things with negative feedback. Negative feedback doesn't necessarily mean you need to throw up your hands in the air and say, oh, my business is collapsing. It's an opportunity to improve.
Okay, oh, that's nice to know.
It's really an opportunity to improve. And when customers complain, they are concerned. And customers who complain actually like your business. When they don't complain, the research shows that silence can be one of the ways they just vote out with their feet. If they're not saying anything and they're just silent, and unfortunately that's a bit cultural as well.
Customers are like women.
And men. They may not complain, but they'll just switch.
They'll just switch,
you know?
yeah.
So we really need to think about feedback. And feedback is a marketing tool because it helps you do better. Okay. And that doesn't cost you anything. And you can actually solicit feedback also. Customer engages with you, give them a call. How was it? How is there anything we can do better? I know that it's difficult to hear negative feedback, but the SME entrepreneur, whoever, needs to prepare themselves for negative feedback.
Okay.
So you acknowledge. If you need to apologize, you apologize. You don't need to give a justification.
You don't?
The justification is saying why you did something wrong.
Okay, okay.
You can give an explanation. I'm sorry we've been late on our delivery. We had a bit of a technical challenge. We would improve on it next time.
Okay.
And then try and give a compensation. A compensation can be anything from, we're very sorry this happened. Next time you come and buy something, we'll give you a discount, or we'll replace or repair. There are various options. And the thing is, when you think about remedial measures as a cost, what you're saying to yourself and what you're saying to your customers, I don't care about our future relationship. I'm thinking about us as a transactional relationship right now. And that's more costly in the long run. So think about customers as, I'm trying to build a long-term relationship with them. Yes, this particular instance, there was a problem. But they might be my customer next year or next 2 years, or they may actually be the advocate that brings me more business in the future. So those are some of the things that small businesses can do. And then building partnerships and alliances. So you don't have money to go on TV or radio, but you can sponsor an event. You can give something in kind. And based on that, you are associated with a particular program. That's one of the ways. You haven't spent money. You haven't spent physical money, but you've made an investment, okay? And it's very key that I mentioned that in doing those exchanges, you cost them.
Right.
So don't just decide that I'm going to sponsor a TV show and I'm going to give 100,000 worth of my products. You need to cost how much that's going to impact on your bottom line.
Okay.
Because otherwise, you might just be doing these things and not recognizing how much impact it has on you or how much it's hitting your bottom line. So that's another thing. But I'll say if you don't have money, think about customers, think about how you can use word of mouth, how you can get referrals, how you can use collaborations, and a very important one, digital tools are less costly than the traditional media, but can reach customers. But before you choose, you just say social media. Think about what your customers are. If you've clarified who your customers are, you would be clear on what they do, what lifestyle they have. So when they wake up in the morning, do they watch TV or do they go on their phones? Research currently shows that for most adults, the first thing we do when we wake up is to pick up our phones.
Sure.
So you want to be clear on what type of adult is my customer. Are they a bit older? If they're older and maybe they're pre-retirement or in retirement, what do they do in the morning? Do they take a walk? Do I want to interface with them on this walk? even the timing of when you send out messages needs to be tied into something that's convenient for your customer. So you don't want to call a customer and say, and this is what happens most of the time, you get a call and someone is trying to sell you something and you're in the middle of your Monday morning meeting.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, did you just think about me? That it's Monday and I may be really, really busy,
Yeah.
or I'm doing a school run. So that's the thing. They haven't thought about what's my customer's lifestyle like.
Yeah.
If it's a Godwin, it's a Thursday better for him. If he's going to be on set, what time do I think he'll be on set? You need to actually sit down and think clearly on who your customer is, and then try and insert yourself as subtly as possible into their lives.
And not pushing yourself. Godwin, you seem to have...
Yeah, it's a lot going on in my mind right now, and I'm wondering. So I have a friend, a colleague, Dean, on set, who is an entrepreneur and also an actor. And on set, I see him on phone, you know, trying to... So what I want to understand, or what would you advise as a small, medium enterprise where you happen to have another job, let's say you have a side job and this is something you're also doing. Should you outsource your marketing or should you do it by yourself?
Don't outsource something that's the core of your business at any point. And marketing is the core of a business because that's where revenue comes from. What you can do is to get people to play critical roles. So this friend of yours who is making calls and everything, it could also be that at the point he is in his business, he can't step back. So depending on where your business is and the life stage of the business or the product, you may want to be fully involved or you want to take a step back. But I would say that for every entrepreneur, never outsource the core of your business to anybody. Be engaged in it. So know what's going on. Somebody else can do it. So you can outsource social media management of your pages. But even with that, let the person who is managing the page give you a content plan. Decide with them what you want to achieve. Have a plan, have a strategy. And then decide on a monthly basis, which is workable, what are we posting about? You can have some communication pillars. So for a TV station like MX24, what are the key things we want to post about? We want to post about our programming, we want to post about our personalities, we want to post about news, and we may want to post about fun things. So when you guys are dancing, when you're having birthday parties, you have key communication pillars for social media. And then whoever is managing it needs to show you a content plan. So we tend to think about social media as very spontaneous. But the effectiveness of it is determined by the planning behind it. If you've not planned, it looks like you're just doing everything all over the place. And especially for corporate pages, there has to be a plan. So SMEs can decide that. And there's so many young people out there now who understand social media who can help you. You can engage them. They agree with you what your content plan is going to be, how many times you want to post, what you want to do. But the very important thing is what's happening at the back end.
Okay, I have a two-in-one question. You have to.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead? I'll still remember mine.
Please go.
You're sure?
Yeah.
You remember yours? Okay, so two-in-one question, like I said, is from everything you explained, is marketing a form of advertising, or is advertising a form of marketing? And secondly, what would you say about a product that is, should I say, not ready. So let's say I'm selling food, but it may not necessarily taste that good. Should I market such a product, or should I wait to perfect it before I put it out there? Because someone said something to me some time ago that the fastest way to kill a bad product is advertising it. You know. So would you agree with this? First of all, is advertising marketing, or marketing is advertising, and what would you advise?
Advertising is a subset of marketing. So advertising comes under the communication side of marketing. So marketing is quite broad. Marketing includes the strategic decisions that you make about the product. And there's no substitute for a bad product. Let me turn that around. There's no substitute for a good product. You can't hype it. You can't pretend about it. The product has to be good. In that, it needs to provide a clear solution to what a customer requirement is. So painting it nice, like you say in Chi, painting mameto, will not solve the problem. It actually has to be good. You can't pretend, and this is where sometimes for individual brands, we say personal branding, and we think personal branding is all about nice pictures, looking like you're rich when you're not rich, or pretending that you're having a good time. That's not personal branding. Personal branding is you communicating your brand essence. What am I really good at? What do I expect people to get from me when they interact with me? Okay, and that's the same thing with the brand. So you can't hype a bad product. You really need to have something good.
You have to be certain that this is
Yes.
good enough to go out there
Yes.
before you...
But do you need it to be perfect? No. So for businesses, you need to determine what's your minimum viable product.
Yeah.
What's the minimum we need for this to succeed? And then you can start from there. And that's why we also have test marketing. So you don't just decide in your bedroom that this is something I want to do, and immediately you've provided or you've produced 100,000 units of it, and you're taking it into the market. You need to do a pilot. So you test the products. Your immediate environment. Don't go to your family and friends. Sometimes they say nice things because they don't want to dampen your spirit. So think about people who can really, really give you good feedback. It doesn't taste very well. And that's one of the things. We've joked about it a lot on social media, where almost all our friends are going into food production business these days. And some of the food doesn't really taste good. But we can't tell them because they're our friends. We don't want to spoil the relationship.
So true.
Exactly. So you need to really determine, yes, a lot of people can cook. My 12-year-old son can cook, but does he want to start a food business? That's one of the conversations. So be very clear that what I'm doing is good. At least I have a core group of people who will be willing to buy. And that's where you determine before you even start advertising. So advertising is a subset. And then you said don't advertise a bad product. Don't offer a bad product.
At all.
At all.
Okay.
I mean, and you can't sell what you're not convinced about. One of the most profound definitions of sales is by a guy called Zig Ziglar. And he says sales is the exchange of conviction. If you're not convicted about something, you're not convinced that this thing is good, you're not going to be effective at selling it. Yes, you may be somewhat successful, but you will not be consistently effective. So the business owner, the team members, everybody has to believe that what we're doing is good. We're offering a good product. And that's where culture comes in, but that's a conversation for another day.
Okay. Petra, you know what? I have tried businesses and I've failed woefully. As she was talking, one of the things that came to me was that one of my workers called and was, complaining about a customer. When I went there, I went to the salon, she said, they gave me the customer's complaint. Then I pulled and I said, Pat, the customer is always right. She said, Auntie, dappy. This one there is not fair. You get a lot of marketers saying that the customer is always right. Is this true? Or it's just a feeling we're trying to project out there? And then what is the consequences of a customer who is not satisfied? I remember what Philip Kotler said. Does it still hold today? That's my one question. My second question would be that how can you market a brand without depending solely on an influencer? Some people come to the salon again and then they say, oh, you're the owner, but why don't you have your picture here? I said to myself, I'm afraid if I want to wake up one day and not be on TV again, can the business survive? So I see on social media people heavily depending on brand influencers. What's the consequences? Is this okay? The third one, you deal with it.
The two are quite loaded.
Yes.
So the first question is the customer always right?
Yes.
And a young gentleman who attended one of my training sessions gave the best answer I've heard of. He says the customer is not always right, but the customer is always powerful.
Okay.
And that's because the customer can fire everyone from the CEO to the least person in the organization. Now, I want to tie this into culture. You need to build a culture in your organization where even when the customer is saying what is untrue or wrong, your team recognizes that this person is even more important to me than my CEO. And then they won't go ranting and screaming at the customer, because we actually need to recognize that without the customer, there's no business.
Right.
So that's the culture. So yes, the customer may not be right all the time, but they're always powerful. And in the space where we are so, where word of mouth is so prevalent, social media gives everybody an audience, you don't want to be at the receiving end of terrorist customers. So you need to build that culture into your team where they recognize that. And it's also a function of leadership. You can say to her, I recognize the customer maybe misinterpreted the situation, is a bit more upset, but let's solve this problem.
Nicely.
And then we can go back to figuring out what the issue is. But the worst thing to do is to make a customer feel that it's your fault. Like, I've walked into places where, yes, it was my fault, but how it was communicated to me is your fault. I even went to a bank once and they said, you didn't read.
Ish.
I closed my account.
I know.
You know, because ultimately everybody wants to feel important.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to leave with your team. That's what you need to leave with customers. Let them feel important. They've walked into your business. They've given you 10 CDs, 50 CDs, 100 CDs. They are important. Okay, so that's the other thing. The other question was...
The brand influencers.
The brand influencers.
Brands heavily depending on other brands. The Tiger Woods story.
Yes.
Yeah.
So personalities are important for businesses to grow. The personality of the owner is also very important. Because people buy from people they like.
Yeah. So
your fear is legitimate because you are concerned that if I move away from the public eye, would my profile still attract people? What you need to do with that hesitation or that fear is build your brand outside of just your public profile. And I struggled with that at some point in my career where I was like, okay, if I'm no longer doing this particular job, will I mean anything? Will I... That was my core sense of validation. That's where you build your network. That's where you build direct relationships with people. So that beyond just the perception of a big personality, they actually like you. Okay?
Yeah.
And then go one step further and have interactions with your customers. So you have to build a customer database. When customers walk in, don't just allow them to leave without having any information on them. Know them. Know their names, know their important dates, even know how frequent they're supposed to be coming back to the salon. So that you're building a community of customers. You're not just building transactional relationships. But influencers are important. Because one of the trends in our current dispensation is that very strong desire to be connected to influential people. If I see Godwin, and Godwin is so popular, he's so active, I would want to bring Godwin's followers to my brand. It's easier for me to contact Godwin to do that work for me than for me to go to them, try and get them
one
individually.
after the other. Right,
exactly.
right.
So influencer marketing is important, but you need to you can't just leave it at that. You need to then move beyond just using the influencer to now building relationships with them. And very important, when the moment of truth happens, the customer experience must be great. It can't be that there's all this razzmatazz. And then when there's the customer touch points,
they're disappointed.
It's a disappointment. Exactly.
Right. In the case where Godwin is an influencer to your brand and Godwin's image is tarnished, it does affect your brand, doesn't it?
It does. And sometimes the philosophy of the brand determines how they try and work on it. So you give the example of Tiger Woods. There were some brands that stayed with him. There were some brands that decided to walk away. So Nike, for instance, has been very, very clear that their brand philosophy is just do it.
Yeah.
They're not concerned about the morality. They're not concerned about some other things that other brands may be concerned about. So they're going to stick with you. So the brand needs to determine what they want to achieve with that relationship, what they want to achieve with this influencer. In Ghana, it's a bit more dicey. Because what I've noticed is a lot of influencers do multiple brands. So to the customer, it seems a bit artificial because they're wondering, does Godwin really drink this thing he's saying that he drinks, or is he just advertising? And they can see through, okay? But that's where...
Especially with weight loss products. I'm just saying.
Let's avoid that. so then the conversation is, how am I sure that this is genuine Godwin? This is not Godwin who's received 100,000 CDs of money, who is just trying to, put dust in our eyes. And customers see through that, okay? So it's key. The influencer needs to be as authentic as possible so that they show to customers that this is me, this is my regular. So you want to, for instance, think of influencers that already have similarities or have philosophies close to what your brand represents. And then it's easy. It's like their lifestyle already. If I say to Godwin, I want him as an influencer for a brand that is energetic and alive on a Monday morning. I mean, you guys do Monday morning so good. It's natural for him. He's already waking up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. coming to work. So he's not going to be like, oh, I'm tired, I'm sleepy. You know, so you look for influencers that can carry your brand very seamlessly.
Lastly, before you go, a question by one of our viewers, or from one of our viewers. I don't quite get it. I'm thinking you are the marketing person, you get it. He says, what are the documents you need to start a business that will bring trust in order to boost your business? If you can answer this briefly for us, like 30 seconds.
Documents to start a business. I think that the Registrar General, is the place to go for that information. But for trust, that's a key thing. I would say that for a new business, think about how you're going to show that you can do what you're saying you want to do. That's one thing. And how do you do that? So the question is, why do companies, for instance, say with individual brands, I want somebody who has 10 years experience when I haven't even done it? Think about how you can package all of the other things that you've done informally to showcase what you're saying you can do. Okay, so for instance, if you say you're good at writing, but you haven't published a book yet, but you want to offer writing services, do you have a blog? Do you have examples of things that you've done on your social media pages? Do you have examples of things that you've done for other people, even informally? And that's where for young people, you need to begin to build capacity. So do things voluntarily. Don't wait to say, I have a job, before you begin to build that capacity. And even in the small groups and club activities that we have in schools, you can build some of those skills. So for a young person who is thinking, what are the documents or what's the track record I need? First of all, you have to prove that you can do what you're saying you can do. And I hear people saying, oh, I need someone to take a leap of faith. Business is about money. Business is really about money, and companies make decisions based on the return on investment that they expect. So you need to be able to get them evidence that you can actually do what you're saying you can do.
Thank you. Abba Asamoah, marketing practitioner and author.
Quickly, where can I get some of your books to buy, apart from the one I'm going to be following your card to take for free?
Okay, so I have 2 books. The first one is Sales 101, What Everyone Should Know About Sales. And it's a marketing book. And the second one is a novel, Jungle Dance. And both of them are available at EPP Bookshop, Vidya Laboni and Usu, and then Book Nook Bookstore, which I believe is one of Ghana's largest online bookshops. You can get them there. And for our viewers and listeners who are abroad, both of them are available on Amazon.
Oh, great.
Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. You're such a nice person. We'd love to have you again.
Thank you, Emefa. I look forward to it.
All right, guys, that's it for Lifestyle Daily. Let's get you motivated, okay? That's more on the show this day.
On the throne, He alone is worthy of our praise. Say, Kadosh, 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 is the Lamb of God who sits upon the throne. Say, He alone is worthy. He alone is worthy of our praise. Sing it, say, Kadosh, 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 Kadosh,
Kadosh by Joe Metal. What a beautiful song. Welcome back to the AM Club. My name is Godwin Nambo. It's now time for Motivation Monday, and as we always do, we plug you into very successful people doing well in their field. And our guest this morning is no exception. He wears a coat of many colors. Let me quickly run you through them. Now, he is the CEO of Cosmark Marketing Company Limited. He is a youth advocate, talent management consultant, youth coach, and a marketing expert. He was appointed the United Nations Youth Ghana's Public Relations Officer in 2019. Also, the Ghana Tertiary Awards was founded by him. He's a law student and a television presenter. Wow, it's a lot, Richmond. Emefa Sapon. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
First of all, you're looking very handsome. I love the combinations you're
You're
working with this morning. It's good to have you, bro.
Right, good to see you too.
I'm curious to know what a day in your life is like with all these things going on.
Yeah.
Could you share with me what a day in your life is like?
It's quite tight. So early in the morning, you need to be in the office. Let's say by 8, 9, you have to be in the office. Then when it's 12 o'clock, you need to drive to your TV station.
Speak up a bit for me.
Yeah. Let's say by 8, 9 a.m. you should be in the office. Around 12:30 you have to drive to your television station. 1 o'clock you have to be on TV because a live program like this too. And then by 2 o'clock you're done. You drive back to the office. If you have other meetings, from there you need to move back to school. So it's a run through from Monday to Friday, and there are other meetings, there are other international assignments that would want you to travel or have to be involved in other meetings and stuff. So but we're coping.
It's time to be corrected. You're not married, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so then you don't have that pressure, do you? The pressure of wife and kids disturbing you. So it's amazing. Now, growing up, we all say want to be, most of the things we said will be was be a doctor, a lawyer, you know, what else? We never said a teacher, did we?
Nobody said
a teacher, maybe a lecturer, but I'm curious to know, which of these things was your first love growing up? Did you say, I really wanted to do?
Honestly, I wanted to be a lawyer growing up. I really had passion for advocacy. I picked up leadership roles whilst I was growing up in school, in junior high school, senior high school, to the university. I always found myself trying to speak on behalf of people or taking up leadership roles. So I really had the passion to study law, but I didn't know it was going to be that tough, you know. But we're coping.
You're on course.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're a law student now, so you can see. Tell me what's like growing up. Where did you grow up? What's your family like?
Yeah, I grew up I was born in Koforidia. When I was 9 years, we came to Accra. And because my dad was working at SNIT, you know, this transfer stuff, so I stayed at a lot of places in Takrade, in Kumasi at some point. So I built relationship, built network with people growing up and all of that. So growing up wasn't so, you know, I didn't grow up as a rich kid. I didn't also grow up as somebody who was, let's say, middle class kind of living. But there were difficulties, I must admit. But those difficulties encouraged me and motivated me to put my life in my own hands and decide that this is what I want to achieve and I have to work hard towards it.
It's almost like everybody goes through difficulty,
you
know, in life. Now, it's good that you brought that up. Could you share some of those difficulties growing up?
Wow.
Yes.
Bro, it's difficult time. But let me try and cast my mind. There were times when we had rent issues at some point that we had to. My mom and I, she was pregnant of my little sis. My dad was out of town, so we had to relocate, sleep in uncompleted building.
Koforidia or Accra?
Accra.
Yeah.
I mean, in some part, I mean, we have to sleep in an uncompleted, but it wasn't even a cemented floor or something like that. So it was like sand. We had to put a mattress on the floor. I had to be on the street to sell to support my mom at some point. You know, the second-hand clothing. You know, I picked the you know, and I was anytime. I mean, every community I found myself, I was a bit popular. You know, I ended up being, you know, known and stuff. So I had to sneak to the market with the bell. You see, they have this 1 CD bell.
How old were you at this time?
Let's say between 12 and 13, thereabouts. Yeah. So I had to be doing that and deciding to. So those were the times that I had to talk to myself that I have to be the game changer. I have to be very focused. I have to set my priorities right and change the situation. So many people do not know that I've been through such a situation. Maybe now you look at how things are and feel like it was just like, nah, there were real difficulties. I must admit. Yeah.
Are you the oldest of your siblings?
Yeah.
How many?
There are three. We are three, yeah.
Oh,
So I'm the eldest. I have a little brother and a little sister. My brother is in the University of Ghana. My sister is in high school, so.
Do you feel some form of pressure from them looking up to you, or for some reason they thought, you know, you have to make it so that you bring us up as well?
Yes, at some point I felt the pressure because I had to be a strong role model. I have to set the standard for them to follow. But God being so good, because I set the target so high, and by the grace of God, the things I was achieving at a very young age, I started achieving at a very young age, it helped them. My brother also has that leadership instinct in him. My sister is also very focused. But apart from that, I perform all the roles I'm supposed to perform, and we're doing very well.
Now, Richmond, what would you say were those things that held you, let's say your pillars, basically, that motivated you, that kept you going, coming from a family like that? I'm sure you met people who were coming from, for the want of a better word, better families. And you look at yourself and you say, no, I'm still going to do this. Were there some pillars in your life, people you looked up to, perhaps your parents?
Yeah, parents are always going to be people you look up to, but I had external people that I was looking up to. I like reading a lot. Even when I was in high school, I read books like Abe Lincoln, I read books like Audacity of Hope by Obama. I read a lot of books, so the self-inspiration and motivation was there to achieve it. Aside reading books and having external people as my role model, living in Ghana here, I remember when I was done with senior high school, I walked to Bolare's office, Empire Entertainment at Latibiokoshi thereabout, told him I wanted to organize an award scheme for tertiary institutions. He opened his arms, accepted me, gave me guidelines, opened his arms for me. So those were people that I looked up to. And of course, I had a cousin who is a lawyer now. He's somebody I also look up to. He also, because of how he also went through the things I went through before becoming successful, he was the marketing manager for RLG, and is credited for bringing Chris Brown to Ghana. You know, the marketing bit of that of him. So I had a lot of people to look up to and to shape up my life the way I wanted it.
Tertiary Educated is a lot about, you know, marketing. I don't know if you were listening to the conversation. Yeah. You're a marketing expert. Would you say your knowledge in marketing has sort of helped you build the brand you have now? How did it?
I would say so. Personally for myself, and you know, I personally manage actress Fela Makafuyi, and I use her as a case study. You know, picking a brand like Precious and trying to have a whole new character identity for her is a good job of a marketer. You know, brands may have certain perceptions, and your duty first as a marketer is to try and position a brand so that it becomes more attractive. You know, in this world, people may have their preferred, people may have things they want to get, or they may have their number one A-list things. But when the preferred is not available, the available must become preferred. Not that there's a balance, but you must position something very well that people fall in love with it and people begin to pick it as a stand. Marketing has played a role in how I brand myself, in my business, in every single thing I do, because in life or in marketing we say people buy what they see, and not just seeing. It must be very attractive and it must be positioned in such a way that it looks very nice.
It reminds me of the question someone, I think my colleague asked Petra, or was it Daily Dose of Him, where someone says you are dressed the way you dress? As a marketing person, do you side with this?
Of course, you are dressed the way you are dressed. I mean, because first impression always counts. I'm sure you are driving and you see, or maybe you park at the car park and somebody walks to you. Sometimes before you roll your glass, you are tempted to look at the appearance to either to be scared or something. I read a book where they had a quotation which was a bit interesting. They were like, if you have a lot of tattoos and you don't have money, people see you as a quote and unquote, like, it's quite suspicious. But when you are rich and you have tattoo, people see it as a lifestyle, like, you know, it's a way of a swag. So I think identity and how you brand yourself is very, very important. I mean, use yourself as an example.
Me?
Of course, I mean, how you put yourself out there. I've seen a lot of jackets, suits, top-notch class. You know, I mean, that's a target you're trying to feed.
Richmond, be careful.
Oh yeah,
but do you invest a lot in your looks?
Yeah, of course.
You do, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you place, you know, appearance as a brand?
I think appearance is everything. I'm tempted to give an example of something that was trending in Ghana. Everybody was depositing money there and all of that. We later realized they had issues. It was because of how the thing was branded, you know. I'll give 2 examples. That particular scheme that was set up, that people had to put money inside. And the second one is, banks were being collapsed, right? Recently, there were banks that government have to support and stuff. There were certain banks that before when you walk to a bank, before you can put money there and all of that, it's because of how the appearance. There was one of the microfinances or the banks, microfinance actually, that rented its facility to one of the top Pan-African banks. So if you go there and the microfinance tells you that we even give space to this top-notch bank, you have that confidence. These people, they don't need my money for anything. So let me buy gold or let me buy this and deposit my money. It's the appearance, how you position is very important. So for me, appearance, I give it about 8 over 10. It's very, very important.
It's interesting that you say 8 over 10. So I'll ask you, what's more important, a person's appearance or their character?
For me, I think it works both ways. But you see, sometimes I wonder when people can talk about appearance without character. Yeah, I know sometimes appearance can be, it can be a whole different thing together from how the character is and stuff. But from what I know and from experience, it will be difficult to have somebody, excuse my language, who is very, very, very dirty to be appearing neat. No matter how it works, if you don't, you can even tell somebody may be dressed very well, but you can see this person, perhaps it's not prim and proper. No matter how the person is costumed. So for me, I think character is also important, but what is inside you sometimes comes out in even the way you dress, how you talk, and all of that.
Interesting. Do you live by some principles?
Yeah, I do.
You're not for all those, motivational stuff. Oh, I live by integrity, love. Do you have those things?
For me, there's one simple principle that I really hold on to. And I always say hard work is prayer. I know people pray a lot to have things going for them and all of that, but I believe the more you work hard, I don't know if you've had that experience before, but if you have dreams, if you have things that you have planned to achieve, and you work very hard towards it, I'm not saying don't pray, but if you're focused, then you work very, very hard. Hard work becomes prayer. It gets everything working for you. Anything anybody believes in, if you're working very, very hard, it becomes a prayer, a request to God to grant you that ambition.
You're a youth coach.
Yeah.
What about young people drew you, or what about young people attracted you to getting to nurture them, to coach them? What about it?
If I can get a coach,
how do I put this? What attracted you to teaching the youth, or perhaps coaching the youth? What about them? What is it that you saw? What problem did you identify there? I'm going back to the marketing thing. I think I've learned a lot in marketing. What problem there are you solving?
Yeah, personally, I was a bit worried because, we live in a country where 61% of our population are young people. Africa is a very young continent. In fact, even our continent as a whole, also about 60% of young people. Ghana defines its youth as people between the ages of 15 to 35. The African Union and UN also defines 12 to 24, I should say. Now, if you look at this bracket, and you come to Ghana and realize that most young people are not so concerned about our social, political, or governance itself. Is like everybody is a bit okay. I'm not really interested in politics and governance and all of those things. It really got me a bit sad to go into youth coaching, building youth empowerment, and getting them to ask questions where it's necessary and relevant, and picking leadership roles to help contribute to Ghana's cultural development. The unconcerned, I should say, quote-unquote, nature of young people not really getting involved in social political activities got me to pick a very different aspect of the normal youth coach that would say, dream it, you can achieve it. Those things are also okay, but you need to go extra miles to get young people to be pick a role, identify something they're good in to achieve. And that's what got us to establish the Ghana Tertiary Awards, which our own Jason here is a product of it. So those are other areas we pick to put people on.
So you're interested in politics? Why are you smiling? Because you're empowering the young people to take up, social responsibilities. So are you interested in politics?
Yeah.
Do you have ambitions to, take up political power someday?
Yeah, so Yeah, it's very likely that I'll be contesting for Member of Parliament for Domikwa-Benya. I think in 2020 I put up, there were publications on it, but I felt the constituency needed to have the opportunity to look at those politicians. We are neutral. I mean, we are coming in as very independent people. We understand the plight of young people. And if a country is made up of young people, old people will not be so much understanding of our plight.
You think the solution is young people?
It should be. It should be. I mean, many old people ask us to entrepreneurship is the driving force, but these are people who are in politics and they won't move to entrepreneurship for young people to.
They're just telling us to go into.
Yeah.
Richmond, I live in Hacho. I live around Domi, so you're in my.
Yeah, that's why I live too. Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge with leadership in this country? Would you say?
Wow, this is a very difficult question.
Is this?
Yeah, you know.
I'm sorry, I'm digressing a bit. Even though we are talking about you, you know, I'm just trying to get to know you more. What would you say is our biggest problem?
But I just hope I don't step on anybody's toe, because if I have to be very blunt, I think the problem with Africa is our leaders, and specifically what really is the problem is that we do not, the leaders especially, I don't know, we don't have a permanent development plan, succession plan. Like, let's say America has a foreign policy. No matter who becomes president of America, you have a plan you must follow. I think Kwame Nkrumah developed a plan for us. I mean, most of the things he achieved within a very short time. When he became head of government business in 1951, prime minister 1954, 1960, president, he was ousted 66. All those times he worked on a plan, he worked on a scheme. Now let's ask ourselves, government comes to power today, have a plan, use state money to develop project, they are out of power. The next government comes, and it's our money, taxpayers' money. The new leadership do not want to follow that. So you have you have a lot of scattered projects which are not done. But if we had true leadership that thought about the nation, that thought about the funds that we have, you realize that all these projects would be developed, would be achieved, and it will help us, the Ghanaian people. Secondly, it has to do with our attitude towards money, the leadership attitude towards money. I'm hoping we can get to the state where leadership of our country do not look about things that glorify themselves, like the ex gratia things, the convoys, about 30, 40 cars following MPs, presidents, and all of that.
They are not selfless, basically.
That's how I see it. I was in Holland, and where I was based was in Den Haag. And they had their parliament house around the stream there. And I was showed the prime minister riding a bicycle to the parliament house. I was amazed. No security detail, nothing. So I think if our leadership would choose to be selfless and also, you know, continue project, abandon projects, we'll be fine as a country.
I wish I could continue this conversation with you and ask what books you've mentioned a few books you've read and the ones you recommend. But lastly, before you go, what do you make of the current member of parliament? Richard, let me leave you here.
Thank you very much. That question.
Would you like to answer it?
No.
You don't want to touch it.
Yeah. Which member? I think you didn't even.
Domikwa-Benya.
Oh, I think she has been very insensitive to the people of Domikwa-Benya. She has been very personal. She's been very thoughtful of herself. When the constituency was one of the largest constituencies in Accra was abandoned, she was on social media, TikToking and showing videos of Ferrari and Lamborghinis. This is somebody who was very insensitive to the plights of people. Domikwa-Benya need people or persons to lead them who are non-political, who are non-attached, and such political leadership are people who are very neutral, who can help them. And I think I profess that standard for them to feel their plight and I like how the market women and the youth community-based people there are always upholding my commitment to them.
Richmond, Emefa, we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
It's good having you.
Good to have you.
All right. Still watching the AM Club right here on MX24 TV. We'll be right back.
Eat nuts and seeds. Some people avoid nuts because they are high in fat. However, Nuts and seeds are incredibly nutritious. They are packed with protein, fiber, and a variety of vitamins and minerals. Nuts may help you lose weight and reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Additionally, one large observational study noted that a low intake of nuts and seeds was potentially linked to an increased risk of death from heart disease, stroke, or type 2 diabetes.
Need the best of in-depth analysis, top personality interviews, trending and breaking news all come your way. I'll be serving you with football conversations, life-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations, all on Off the Cuff. Join me, Derrick this and every Monday to Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. only on MX24 TV.
Okay, sweet, but girl, your love is sweeter. My hair, you day for my hair. I know fit to reset.
The gossip, maybe I was born faithful until the first female suddenly broke a vow.
I feel like you can be my baby.
What
if
I
broke, now my business. I'ma show you go buy to.
And you know, I hire a permanent fan. Yeah, free cocoa, being called, yeah, bad things go from a side.
No hands, still I can't believe it. You know what I mean? I was young, what you expect from me? It is what it is.
Dreaming of a property for your home or workspace is one thing, but finding the property at the best locations with the most favorable condition and closing that deal is another. And that's why we are here. From Accra, Ghana, to Lagos, Nigeria, to Cape Town, South Africa, we are bringing you prime properties, affordable home solutions, and intriguing interviews with CEOs of various real estate companies and everything in between and on. My name is Kwesi Otten Desmond, and this is Property Take. Property Take, your gateway to Africa's real estate market. Showing this on every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on MX24.
Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds. The Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak. You, my friend, are very welcome.
Times the Lord will pour his spirit afresh on all flesh.
We need your Holy Spirit, Jesus, pour afresh on us to
Hello guys, thank you so much for sticking and staying with us here on the AM Club. It's a beautiful Monday morning, rather solemn one, and we're ready to receive fresh oil from Mvitim. Hi Mvitim, this is the plug where we plug you onto some anointing, okay?
That's a good one.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm sure that you may have had this question 1,000,000 times. Mvitim, I mean, Godwin and I were rehearsing your name earlier this morning when we were introducing to the audience that you were coming today. I mean, abbreviation, full name means something. What is it?
Mensa Vincent Timothy.
Sorry?
Mensa Vincent Timothy.
Okay.
Mvitim for short.
That's right.
Very interesting. Was that a nickname they gave you in school? Or you coined it yourself?
I came up with it.
Nice.
Okay, welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
How does the Monday feel for you?
It's a good one, especially when I was being told that I'm coming here this morning. It's a big moment for me personally. Yeah, I think after the release, this is the first TV station being on.
Oh,
yeah,
after the release?
Yes.
Okay.
The rest has been radio stations and other stuff. So this is a big one for me, and I'm so appreciative being here. And I look forward to having a good time here.
Okay. I'm sure one of the common questions Gordon and I would ask people like you is that, is this some anointing you catch from the beginning, or you were born with it, or you grew up to come and get the calling? You know, some people say they were born in music family, some people say they had a dream. How did you start this?
Okay, I think one thing I believe in, the Bible says that you should teach the child the way to go. And when he grows, he would not depart from it. So one thing that in my family really helped was that since childhood, my big brothers, I'm the last child, we play music from morning to evening. Okay. So I got to love it. But recently, I think last 2 years, one auntie of mine got in touch. He's actually in Italy now. He got in touch and he was like, so Tim, do you still sing? Because when you were a child, I'll carry you and you sing all day. So I realized, okay, it's not just about my brothers playing the songs at home, but it's something that maybe I was called to do since childhood.
I see.
Interesting. And how long have you been doing it? Like 2 years ago?
Okay, so I took the solo ministry seriously in 2020, but I've been involved in some minor stuff some years back.
Of course, you know, where do you fellowship?
ICGC.
Oh, yeah. So you were at the Greater Works?
That's right.
Powerful.
Did you do all the 40 days?
No, I didn't.
I think you have a friend here. We have a guy here too. We didn't do the 40 days.
Our boss here did all the 40 days, and because of her,
awesome.
we won't even eat, we won't have breakfast, we won't have lunch or anything.
Oh, great.
I mean, when she promises food, she'll say, you know what, after my fasting.
Oh, nice.
After my fasting. But I'm happy that you're able to be honest and say that,
yes,
you
I
didn't.
think I did 37 or something.
Hey!
Then
you did it.
We are close to it.
I mean, it's important because you're releasing your project already. It has to touch base with people.
During that same period.
You have said that you have done radios, and but how has the feeling been since you released it?
It's been an amazing one. Especially we released the audio on the 22nd, then the video on the 24th. After releasing the audio 22nd, within 2 days, Spotify, you see 2,000 streams. And because being an upcoming, you don't get it easily like that. And by grace, and YouTube, the day we release, within 7 days, we are already 7K. So it's been a great one. It's been a great one, and it's very humbling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Godwin.
Oh, goodness. What do I want to ask?
Before you get to find out what you want to ask, before the Pour Afresh, have you had any life-changing moments in your life?
In terms of music or personal life?
Personal, anything. I like to think that your music is inspired by your life, right?
Yeah.
So what's the personal thing that has happened to you?
Okay, so I think my music is inspired by the relationship I have with God, by reading every morning and all that. But personal life, I think one thing that I've not told anyone yet was the time that I was saved from being hit by a train. That was when I was in SHS, and it was vacation time, at Circle. I was coming home, and I don't know, I was so desperate to get home. So on my way, I actually didn't realize when I was going that something told me, just look right. Oh, all this while the train has been horning, but I couldn't hear. I don't know what happened, but I just stepped back then. Sure.
Wow.
It was grace.
Did you go home to tell your parents?
I've never told anyone before.
Wow! How did I get you to say this?
Because I know that if I told my mom,
she would freak out.
Yeah, because she's a single parent, so you can imagine.
Okay.
And last baby too. So.
Okay, last of how many?
3.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
You're poor afresh, Godwin. Yeah.
No, his story reminded me. I've been in that situation. My dad and I, the train was about 100 meters from us, and we were walking in the middle. And the train was not, what's the name of that thing? It was not, so for some reason we just decided to turn, and then the train was like...
In Ghana here?
Yes. Circle, what he's talking about. Anyway, so that's such a miracle. But what I want to ask you is, why did you choose God? Or would you say God chose you?
Okay, I think many are called, few are chosen. And before you are being chosen, you have to respond to the calling.
Okay.
So I think when he called, I responded, then he chose me. So I think, some people say that, oh, many are called, but not all of us are chosen. The reason you are not chosen is because you didn't accept the calling.
Really?
Yes. So when you accept the calling, for instance, let's say we are all in this room, then I say that all of you come to me, then 3 comes, then I give the 3 biscuits. I didn't give them just because I chose them by choosing them, but because they responded
themselves.
Exactly. So the moment you respond the calling, he chooses you. So once you respond, so I think God called, I responded, then he chose me for this.
Walk us through the process. How did the calling come? How did you respond? And how did he choose you?
Okay, so a song like Pour Afresh was received in 2011 or 9, 2009, 10, 11, one of them. I was in JHS at that time. And I was the school prefect. Yeah, so it's 2011. So I was the school prefect. I went to school early. Then I was reading through Acts chapter 2, verse 17. That was what I was reading first. Then I realized it says that it was being prophesied that in the end time, the Lord will pour his spirit upon all flesh. Then I realized that someone told me it's actually in Joel. So I looked at Joel, then I realized, oh, is there? So meditating on this verse, the Lord gave me a song. All the songs I have by grace, I have about 290-something songs.
290-something songs?
How old are you?
I'll be 27 in October.
Wow.
So far, I've released only 3 of the songs. This is the 4th one.
This is the 4th one.
Yes,
let's take a trip back to the 3 others that you released. Title of those?
Woody Benim, that was released in 2020.
Okay.
Then Empire 2021.
Okay.
Then Your Name in 2021. Then Pour Afresh 2022.
Yeah.
Then in October, another one will come. Then February, another one will come. The full album comes by March.
But how is it that you have a little over 200 songs and you decided to start releasing them when? 2020?
Okay, so the thing is, I have the songs, but I didn't know the purpose, whether to sing them myself or to form a group and give the song to them to sing, or to maybe sell them or to dash them. I never knew. So I had to be sure about this because something God has given you. So once it's God-given, you don't make the decision yourself. You wait for God to tell you that, okay, I'm the one that I've given you this song. So this is what I want you to do with the song. So once I was assured in 2020 during the COVID period that, okay, this song, you have to release them. There are some songs, for instance, there are some songs like Empire. When it came instantly, 2021, that's when the song came. And when it came, I didn't know whether to give it out or to record it. So until I was sure, that was when I did it. So the first song was being recorded during the Corona time, COVID time.
So during the COVID time, the lockdown, that's when you felt that you don't think it was out of boredom?
No.
How do you know that this one was God's calling?
I love games, I love movies, I love to listen to songs. So I've never been bored before. And I'm an IT person. I build websites. So if I have nothing to do, I'll be with my laptop. So it was not actually out of boredom, but I was staying at Achimota with my father in Christ. Then my mom said, during the COVID, the lockdown, she'll be lonely, so I should join her. So when I joined there, I went through the songs on my hard drive. Then that song, Woody Menim, touched me because it was a song that was recorded and giving me way back. During the time that I was writing my BEC, I was writing by the process of BEC because that was my first external exam. So, but you look back, you realize that Enye Bibia.
Okay, Enye Bibia Ampa. That makes me Enye Bibia. The fear you used to get right exams, oh God. Anyway,
Tim, which is more, we'll talk about the songs.
Sure.
We have some few minutes to go. Which is more important? Worship or the sermon?
Worship or the sermon?
The message. So on a Sunday, if I'm going to church, which is more important? Me going to listen to the word or me being in time for worship, being there in time for worship?
Okay, so the Bible says that God's word is like two-edged sword. It cuts here, it cuts here. So Whether it's cutting right or it's cutting left, I don't know. Yes, but each of us, it could be that it's worship that will transform you to know Christ. It could be the word that could transform you. So I think it's dependent on who God wants to work on. If God wants to work on me and maybe he knows that he can get me through worship, he will use worship. If he knows that he can get you through the word. Yes.
Safely answered.
Safely answered. But was God not very clear about how he feels about worship?
He said he created us to worship him, no?
Yeah. He created us, even the word, what is the word? The word is Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. And we get to worship the Father through the word, that is Christ. So it is one thing, if we break it down very well, even the sermon, the word.
I love God. Okay, so pour afresh. She told us the title, I mean, knowing that God would pour his anointing afresh in the latter days. This song, you wrote it yourself, recorded yourself, and how did you arrive at, wanting to do it with a group, and how did you put a group together?
Okay, so 2020, my keyboardist has been with me since 2019.
Okay.
So during the time, I told him that I want to record a song. Then I got in touch with a few friends that I want to record a song. So can you come together? Let's do this. So they came together, but now they are not the same team though. So that is how they all came together. We went to the studio. We went through the song for some time. Then I think that is how it all happened.
Is it lucrative? Do you look to make money from what you do?
The Bible says that seek God, then all other things shall be added. So we are seeking. When all the things are added.
What are you looking to achieve with this particular song? I know there are about 200 and something, but you said during the lockdown the Udimenim song touched you.
Yeah.
What are you looking to achieve with this particular song?
I think it's a timely song because this generation is something else. And without the outpouring of the Spirit, so I pray that this song would speak to this generation, the next to come, and they will get to know the Lord more, and they will have the Spirit filled in them to live as God wants them to live.
Godwin, do you want us to watch the video again?
Yes,
and
please.
Pour afresh, guys. Let's watch.
So the Bible said that in the end times, says that in the end times, the Lord will fill all of us, including you, including us, with His Spirit. So today, Jesus, we've come to say, pour yourself afresh on us. Yeah. We need you.
Hi guys, that is indeed God pouring afresh. Let me see if I can receive the anointing. Feely, pour afresh into me. Sing to me.
Okay, so should I sing the same song?
Yes.
Yes.
We need your Holy Spirit, Jesus, pour afresh on us today. We need your Holy Spirit, Jesus, Jesus, pour afresh on us today. Pour afresh on us, Lord. Pour afresh on us today. We need your Holy Spirit, Jesus. Pour afresh on us today.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Thank you for starting our Monday very, very well for us. Okay, is this song available everywhere?
Yes, please, everywhere.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay. Godwin.
Yes, ma'am. Well, that's just about it for me.
Okay, that's just about it for me too. We're hoping that we'll get him to come and perform proper like a full length for us. Okay.
Social media.
So share your social media handle.
Okay, that's the Mvitim. So THEMVITIM. Yeah,
Okay.
THEMVITIM on all platforms.
Okay, is your mother watching this morning?
Yes.
I want to say hello to her.
I love you so much, Mom.
Nice
Yeah, and
one.
I want to thank you and all my team for coming together, helping me do this. I couldn't do this all alone. So I thank, that's my producer right there, Sammy.
Oh.
Yeah, he's an amazing man and he's been so helpful to me. So I thank everyone who has supported me.
Sammy, thank you very much. God bless you.
All right,
Anyways.
thank you so much, Amitim. Thank you guys for joining us from 7 a.m. to all the way 10 a.m. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing Monday morning. I hope that you're motivated. And I know that as a business owner as well, a small-scale business, you may have learned a thing or two from Petra in how to, inculcate marketing as an integral part in your business, Godwin.
Yep, indeed. And thank you to all those who sent in your daily dose of him. As always, keep them coming in before 7 a.m. Please, before 7 a.m. so we can read them out quickly. We're on 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning. Don't miss out. We are back here tomorrow. Tuesday is Travel Tuesday, meaning Miss Drew will be coming through. Guys, thank you so much. My name is Godwin Nambo. Keep glued to MX24 TV because there's more to come. We'll leave you in the hands of M. Vitim Mpaibo.
That's right.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Father, we come before you with a prayer. May our prayer be answered in the name of your Son, Jesus. No shame, no.